Australian court rejects Catholic Church's tactics to dodge abuse claims. In a groundbreaking decision, the Australian High Court has ruled against the Catholic Church's strategy of using the deaths of, shall we say, PDF file priests. I'm not going to say the real P word on YouTube, the PDF file priests, and a shield in abuse claims. This landmark case challenges the church's practice of seeking permanent stays in historical abuse matters, a tactic revealed by a Guardian investigation to be commonly used for dismissing or minimizing survivors' claims. The High Court's ruling, articulated by Chief Justice Susan Kiefel and Justices Stephen Gageler and Jayne Jagot, emphasized the critical importance of courts hearing and deciding cases except in truly exceptional cases. They are quoted as saying, quote, if a court refuses to exercise its jurisdiction and to hear and decide cases in other than exceptional circumstances and as a last resort to protect the administration of justice through the operation of the adversarial system, that refusal itself will both work injustice and bring the administration of justice into disrepute. Meaning that denying justice on technical grounds, such as the death of perpetrators or loss of evidence, undermines the integrity of the judicial system and perpetuates injustice itself. This ruling signifies a significant shift, prioritizing survivors' rights to seek justice over the church's defensive tactics, and underscores the court's role in upholding justice, especially in cases of historical abuse where evidentiary challenges are common. So this is amazing because there are many other, so this happened in New South Wales, I believe, and there are many other high courts within Australia that were waiting for this decision to come down to see how they're going to be treating historical abuse claims within their, I don't know if you guys call them provinces or states, different, area of Australia. And so basically, like I said, the Catholic Church in Australia has a history of basically saying, oh, well, this priest that is accused of doing terrible things to children is dead now. So we can get this case dismissed or use all these legal tactics to get it minimized or completely thrown out because this person isn't even alive anymore to give their testimony or their own accounting on events and all this stuff. But at the same time, the Australian Catholic Church and Catholic churches around the world have a history of not only not keeping proper evidence or actually concealing the evidence from the government, from investigators, actually concealing it and hiding it, or basically destroying evidence of these abuses, compounded with the fact that on average, it takes 22 years for a survivor to come forward. That basically means that in normal circumstances, everything is stacked against the survivor and the victim from an evidentiary standpoint. Because not only is it decades later, but in those decades later, the Catholic Church probably actively covered it up, or even worse, actively destroyed evidence. And so the court is rejecting the church's tactics that they've used to try to get these cases thrown out off on these technical standards. Because they're saying, given the circumstances, if we just throw it out on these grounds so simply, then that's actually an injustice. Given the circumstances and the tactics and all the facts at play, we have to still give the victims some ability to speak in court. And fantastic decision. I'm excited to see how this influences the rest of Australia.
Australia seems pretty aggressive against the Catholic Church. Am I wrong to say this? Because every time we cover something about Australia and the Catholic Church, it just seems like the justice system there is just going out full force and punishing the church. Relative to other countries, they seem to be the most aggressive.
I don't know. I know that in general, the Australian system has been pretty good. I mean, and maybe Australians would disagree with me. I'm just aware of several cases of the Australian government doing huge and lengthy inquiries into several different abusive sects. So they've done a thorough investigation into the Jehovah's Witnesses, taken action against them. They've done the same thing with Scientology, went after Scientology very aggressively, and they've also done a lot of inquiries against abuse that happens within the Catholic Church. And I love to see it. I hope they keep it up. If there are people from Australia that maybe have criticisms or other information, I would love to hear it. But yeah.
Oh, Doorknob Hip is saying PDF files is just a symptom, not the disease. But yeah, exactly. PDF files in the church. Exactly. The church is the problem. The whole church is the problem. Do you know who makes the most amazing, gorgeous, and other adjectives that I can't use here on YouTube, blasphemous art ever? We do! And for some reason, we are giving it away for free. Download them now using the link in the description before we change our mind.